Oh, it's good colours as well, wasn't it?
Hello,
nice colour.
everybody. Are you there? Facebook Livers? Huh? Facebook Live. Hello. We're reaching out for you guys. Making sure this is right, though. I felt like it was a little bit. Let me know you're there. There you go. They're watching. They're watching. All right. Hi. Well, good evening, everybody. You're watching Karla Dawn Live, and we're here at a wonderful British pub. My guest today is Jon Barrett, and he's from England. Hello, Jon.
Hi there. How are you?
Good, good. I'm so happy that you were able to join me today.
Of course, yes.
And we are going to talk about a lot of things from England, the royal wedding, why people should travel to see England and learn about the culture and what is there that's exciting. Yeah. Right?
Yes,
you know all these things?
I do, yes.
So everybody, we're in store for an exciting show. So you might want to share and let people know. You can share the post to tell them to tune in and watch.
Thank you.
We're here in a wonderful room at the Old
King's Head, in Santa Monica.
Old King's Head in Santa Monica, and it's a British pub. And around, if you see, they have pictures of all the different kings of England. Mm-hmm. We are here by Richard II. Yeah. So I wanted you to be able to, at the end, I will do a quick pan of the room so you can see the whole feel, but this is a very large space.
It is, it's wonderful. It's one of the, if I can tell you, it's my favorite British pub actually in the LA area. I come here quite a lot. The food's really good. It's kind of really authentic. And next door there's actually a British store, a British shop where you can buy lots of British things. I'm just gonna, actually, if you don't mind, I'm just going to say, I'm having a royal wedding party this Saturday morning, and I went to buy some things, and I found hobnobs, which a lot of British people will know what these are. These are most famous biscuits or cookies. They're kind of like Oreos to Americans, hobnobs to British people. We know what these are. And I managed to find dark chocolate hobnobs, which is even better. It's really yummy.
Dark chocolate hobnobs, yum. I'm definitely going to stop by and pick up something while I'm there because, the wedding is on the 19th. I have to have, if I'm not coming back here with some people, this is a great place if you're looking for a place to gather a group. But there's several I found.
There are.
I found some in Studio City, Pasadena,
Hollywood.
Hollywood, there's a great spot. The Cats.
The Cat and the Fiddle. The Cat and the Fiddle. Yeah.
So there's a lot of British locations to go and visit.
There's quite a few of us around, I think. Traditionally, I heard a lot of Brits live in Santa Monica, but now we live all over the place. I mean, I live in Westwood. There's Brits everywhere. We're everywhere.
Right. It's funny because I was looking for like the cuisine, the British cuisine. I was like, oh, what's it going to be? And everybody was like fish and chips.
Fish and chips, definitely.
Fish and chips. I'm like, I never knew this. If you didn't know, that fish and chips is very British.
It's very British. At my party, I've got some vegans coming, very LA, right? I've even managed to find vegan fish and chips, believe it or not. For a Brit, that's kind of weird. It's a bit like an oxymoron, really. Yeah. But obviously fish and chips is real fish. It's usually haddock or cod, and the chips are fries, but they're usually very fat fries. And the fish and chips here are really good. They're some of the best in LA. So
right here,
yeah. Yeah.
Well, we might have to indulge, we just might have to go in there and do it.
Yes, we should.
I think we're a little hot. I think we're a little bright on there. But, we have a lot of sun coming in. Yeah. It's a beautiful day in LA.
It is beautiful today.
Very gorgeous, right?
It's lovely. So I hope we'll have a good day for the wedding on Saturday. I hope so.
I really do hope they have a wonderful day. I think the prediction so far is all good.
It's good.
So if you could do me a favor, let me know that everything is coming through clear. You can see us fine. You can hear us fine. Throw me a heart or a like real quick. I'd appreciate it. So what part of England did you grow up in?
Oh yeah, I'm from a city called Bristol, which is in southwest England.
Bristol!
Yes!
I know that name very well. Bristol, yeah.
Exactly. So it's about the 9th biggest city, I believe, in the UK. It's southwest England. It's very near Wales. It's still in England, but it's just across the water is Wales. So that's where I'm from. It's a very nice city. I'm going to say it's my favorite city in the country because I'm from there. It's known to be a very kind of modern, hip city these days. Lots of music is from there. I don't know if you've ever heard of a kind of music genre called trip hop. Have you ever heard of that?
No,
That's from Bristol. That's kind of there's a group called Tricky is from there. It's a very famous city for music. It's very hip. So it's a port city. It's great. I love Bristol. It's a really good city. It's my hometown.
I know. It's so funny because he was like, "Your name is Bristol. Is that your name?" It's like, yes, that's my my name.
Yeah.
Yes, my
And
name.
we're our local accent to other British people sounds a bit like pirates or farmers. That's how we sound. So we're kind of like the Southerners of our accent's kind of like the Southern accent here. We're kind of like Texans. That's how we would be to Americans.
I got it. I got
yeah.
it. I got
Yeah.
it. Well, I'm just noticing we have the royal flags behind us with the picture of Meghan and Harry. That is too cute. I wonder if they give me one of those as a souvenir. That's a cute souvenir. I can barely get.
We could just. That's very British. We're just.
I know, that's very cute. Very cute. So, tell me a little bit before we get into the wedding discussion. What was it like growing up? You grew up in Bristol.
I did.
So what's the difference? You live here now.
Yeah.
What's the difference, would you say, for someone growing up in Britain versus here?
Well, I was very lucky because I grew up in the 80s. I mean,
Bristol.
I was very lucky because I grew up in the 80s. I'm giving my age away now, but I managed to see a lot of these big 80s bands which became very famous, like in the US, like Spandau Ballet, the Thompson Twins, Simple Minds. I've seen all these people live. I was very lucky.
Yeah, so the music everybody comes to England.
Yeah, everybody comes. So that was
big...
exciting. Yeah, that was very good. What's different? I mean, it's maybe a little bit more low key than LA. It's a much smaller city. It's about 1 million people. It's very laid back, maybe as well. Obviously, the weather is very different.
Yes, that is.
Yes, it's a lot gloomier there. A lot more rain. You know, a lot colder. But it's also very beautiful. I mean, England is very, very beautiful. It's very green. Well, the whole of Great Britain, including Scotland, is very green compared to here. It's very, very beautiful.
That's what I do miss, that we don't have the beautiful green nature.
It is very, very beautiful. Yeah.
I was in Georgia a long time, and I really appreciated the trees. And they were just so vibrantly
That's
green.
Right. Yeah.
So where are some of the must-see places if someone was traveling to here?
Well, obviously London. I mean, London is a great city. It's one of the, I mean, I'll say one of the best cities in the world, greatest cities in the world. I mean, I love LA too, but London's amazing. It's a real world city.
Why is it amazing?
It's very multicultural, but what I love about London, you've got the really old stuff right next to the really new stuff. It's very cutting edge, very modern, but at the same time very old as well. We have kind of everything. And also, I mean, the other great thing about London is different from here. A lot of the museums and places to see are totally free. So we have some wonderful museums like the British Museum. We have all the galleries, and everything is totally free. The other great thing about
residents, okay.
Yeah, well,
so
to everybody.
Even if you're visiting.
Even if you're American, doesn't matter where you're from, everything is free.
Wow.
Yeah, all the museums are free.
Nice.
And also, which is really good, it's very easy to get around. London is huge. It's probably about as big as LA.
Yeah.
But what the difference is, we have like the metro, the tube kind of goes everywhere in the city. So you can get around really, really easily, all over. So that's a great thing.
You don't have to worry about a car. You just can drive everywhere.
You can drive. Yeah, you don't need to drive.
Now, what's with the big double-decker red bus?
Well, those are our traditional buses.
that we have. Kind of old school, and
that's old school. But you know what? They're old school. But even the newer buses, we have newer, modern double-decker buses. So it's kind of like our heritage.
Okay.
And the other thing you'll see in London are the taxis, the black cabs, we call them, the black taxi cabs as well.
Yeah.
So we like to kind of keep the traditional stuff going, even if it's more modern and stuff.
That's what people come to see, right?
Yeah,
they want to see that.
Absolutely. And of course the pubs, everywhere you go. So pubs are very, very important to us. They're kind of like, what would they be like, coffee places here? It's where you would go and meet your friends, meet your family, have a drink. When you move to a new place in England, what you do first is find your new local pub.
That's important.
Yeah, that's important because a lot of the time British people are very kind of weird. We don't really invite people home until we know them very, very well. So to get to know people, especially in a new area, you would go to a pub first of all. That's what we do. So kind of like coffee shops here, but even more. Even more,
because, here coffee shop isn't necessarily a must for social.
That's right.
It's just because to get your caffeine fix.
Exactly. But there it's a real social
But
thing.
if it's there for the social aspect, then
definitely.
I like that.
And I kind of miss that. I miss that. Because like a pub like this, we would have kind of on every second street in the UK. So it's really, really cool.
And that's how you form your friend base, your community. And you start to get to know people, network.
Yeah.
You network at the pub.
You do. And I'm following on for that. I hope you don't mind me saying, but another thing we do in the UK following on for that socially, for a royal wedding, what we would do is have a street party.
Okay.
So what we would do, your whole street would have kind of like tables out in the street with flags like this. And it would be like a huge potluck, but it would be for all the neighbours and friends who live on that street. That's what we do for something like a royal wedding.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's a lot of that going on then now coming up. Everybody's preparing.
They are, yeah.
fun. It's kind of
Yeah.
like what we call the tailgate parties. I
Yes,
guess.
exactly. It's like that.
It's
Yeah.
like- okay.
But it's for your street, just
Yeah,
for your
just
street.
for
So
that
it's
street.
for that street. So you'll see a lot of the neighbours you already know, but it's also a chance to meet other people you might not know.
And then
never
invite
met.
friends, I guess. and
Yeah,
everybody comes.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
How
yeah.
often do these happen?
They usually happen every time there's a big kind of event, especially royal events, like a royal wedding, a royal jubilee, like the Queen's jubilee. That's when she was on the throne. How many years she's on the throne? She recently had a diamond jubilee, which means she was on the
Yes.
throne. I think it's 60 years. I got to remember.
Yeah, I talked about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
on
So we
the
have
show
street
once.
parties there every time there's a big event like that.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Nice. Very
Yeah.
nice. No, I like that
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, it's very
I really
cool.
do. We
Yeah, so
should
I'm going to miss that.
somehow incorporate that.
Yeah.
Where it brings people together. though. I think
Definitely,
it's-
definitely.
Here we call them just watch parties.
Yeah.
In neighborhood watch,
Yeah.
when you try to have a meeting here and there. That's
Yeah.
the only time there's
Yeah.
any kind of a street
Oh,
party.
see, ours is more fun, and
Yeah,
it's like
this is
drinking
more-
and
yeah.
potluck and all that kind of stuff. You know.
And
so.
they block off the street.
They
I
do.
guess.
They block off lots of streets there. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have
So-
to talk to some of our
Yeah.
city council and see if we can get that
Yeah.
implemented. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, and another thing people will do for the royal wedding, they will a lot of people will actually, apart from the street party, they'll actually go to London and they'll line the streets and they'll be outside the palace. And one of the most exciting moments is when the new married couple come out onto the balcony
Yes.
at the palace, at Buckingham Palace, and greet the crowds. And that's what
Right.
you'll see
Well,
on Saturday.
I heard on this that they said there won't be the balcony stands because of the location
Oh
of
yes,
the wedding. They changed
that's
it.
true. So I'm
Prince
not sure.
Harry's a little untraditional.
But they might do
But they're
something.
going to be at the top of the stairs, is
There
what
you
they're
go.
guessing. There's
Yes.
this long staircase at
Yes.
the church,
That's what they'll
and
do.
they expect them to stand there
Yeah,
at the top of the
that's
steps.
what they'll do.
But there's nothing like that royal balcony.
No,
I mean,
no.
I'm like, really, the royal balcony? I want that moment.
Yeah, but then Windsor, the town, which is just outside London, where they're going to be having the wedding, will be packed with people. It's going to be amazing. It's
Oh, I know. My mother
Yeah.
wanted to go so bad, though. She kept saying, we're going. We even looked at flights at one point, and housing was difficult.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
we just missed the boat
Yeah.
on finding a place to
Yeah.
stay that was, semi-reasonable. It just
Yeah.
got outrageous. It was
Yeah.
outrageous.
Well, the
And
town
then-
it's in Windsor. It's probably about half an hour outside London. I think I've heard all the trains are free from London to Windsor that day.
Oh, okay.
Back and forth, so
So
people
a lot of
actually
people
go there.
stay there
Yes.
and then just come in.
Just come in,
And
yeah.
it's probably better to find. No, I didn't know. I should have met you before. Should have met you before. We're trying to plan that.
Yeah.
So I almost went,
Yeah.
to go and watch and be in this section there checking it out.
Yeah.
But one day I'll make it out.
You should,
I've got
you should,
to. My
definitely.
father, like I mentioned before him, we were talking. He's performed in London
Yeah.
many times. He loved going over to England.
yeah.
And we have British heritage on my dad's
Yes.
family. So
Yeah.
I've looked back in the chain. I'm going to do one of those official tests, but I do know for sure that he has family that goes back to
great.
Britain.
Well,
Yeah.
please come over. You'll love
So
it.
I'm
sure
British,
you'll love
everybody.
it.
I'm
You are
British.
British, and we didn't know each other before today. And
No.
we didn't set this up. My hometown is Bristol,
Yeah.
and your last name is Bristol. It's amazing, isn't
Yeah,
it?
and it turns
what a-
out we both have a Brit background. Mine's a little more faint, but it's still there. It's all good. It's all good. So I want to go and I want to see more the museums. I want to get to where like the everyday life is. What was a typical tourist off the beaten path?
Oh gosh,
Right.
well again, like the pubs, I would say definitely,
got
but
the
also
pubs.
pubs and the clubs also. A nice area in the middle of London is an area called Covent Garden, which is a big open air market. A lot of tourists go there too, but a lot of Brits hang out there too, and there's kind of like street performers and kind of things like that, and it's a very fun place to go.
Okay.
Yeah, another area to go to is an area called Shoreditch, which is Shoreditch, which is a very kind of trendy kind of area right now. It's a bit like, what would it be like Silver Lake here? A little bit like
Okay.
that in LA. It's very trendy,
Yeah.
very very modern. Lots of amazing stores,
restaurants
boutique
and things
restaurants,
going on.
stores. Another great place to go is Camden Market, which is a
I've
big
heard of that.
which is in North London. It's a big open air market, clothes market, music market. It's really cool. Fashion market as well. That's a great place to go as well.
So
Yeah.
shopping, dining,
dining,
pubs,
of course,
If
yeah.
you recommend someone try a variety of pubs in different areas, is there a
Definitely,
di-
definitely. I mean, you can't really go wrong with the pubs. You could just any area you go, just go in, and you'll
Right.
find a really good
What
pub.
makes one pub kind of more exciting? And better than the other?
It depends. Some pubs will concentrate on certain like food they have, or certain beers they might have. You know, they might have some local beers, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, or local drinks, or that kind of thing. You know,
Yeah.
some are more historic, some are really old. They could be like 400, 300
Been around
years
a long
old,
time.
that kind of stuff.
So the character even of
the
the
character
place
could be, yeah.
is
There's
nice.
modern pubs, there's gourmet pubs where the
Oh,
food
wow.
is very kind of like,
My gosh,
you know,
maybe
cool.
there'll be a vegan pub one day.
There are. There's
there are?
there's vegan fish and chips
Is it-
even.
but
yeah.
the whole restaurant would be vegan?
There are vegan restaurants.
goodness,
Yeah,
a vegan
yeah,
pub.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
With vegan beer and all that.
Definitely, you can find everything. Yeah.
Oh.
Another great thing to do in the UK and in London as well is to go for an Indian meal. Go for a curry. So Indian food in the UK would kind of be like Mexican food in LA. It's everywhere. It's not very expensive. It's always really good quality.
Yeah.
It really tastes really good. So Indian food, because because of our heritage with India,
Yes,
the Commonwealth. So
absolutely.
that's kind of one of the things. In Indian food we consider almost like British food. We don't really consider it not British. It's kind of
so
like
a part
Mexican
of
food
it.
in LA, right?
Yeah,
it's kind of
something
it's part of us. Yeah. So yeah.
And I love Indian food.
So
Oh my
Indian food,
God.
and then again, like the pubs, you can really never go wrong if you go to an Indian restaurant.
Sorry,
It's
I'm
always
pulling
good.
hair in my-
Yeah, no problem.
So
It's never good.
do you eat a lot of Indian food? Or
I
do you-
love Indian food.
because
I even
you
make
got-
curries at home myself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, so
I love it. Yeah, yeah.
Nice, very nice.
Yes.
All right. So here we go with this wedding. Meghan Markle, an
Yes.
American,
Yes.
is coming into the royal family. Someone from England, how do you think that was received initially? I mean, wow.
I think it was, especially amongst the younger generation and more international people, I think it's received amazingly well. I think it's great. I also think it's wonderful that she's, I have to say mixed race. Can I say that? Mixed race?
She's mixed.
Mixed, and I think that's amazing.
Right.
And it shows that the royal family is really open.
Right.
It's great, and I think you were saying a lot of that is from the legacy of Diana, right?
I truly believe Princess Diana instilled that in her sons from their baby age. She took them around to all kind of countries.
Yes.
Whether it be a African country or American or wherever she was, Swedish. She took them all over the world.
Did.
Australia, I think.
That's right.
And she was about giving and helping and believing in the human race.
Yeah.
And didn't really focus on the color of people. And so the boys probably just they grew up feeling that we appreciate all people.
Absolutely. And also I think it reflects our society. I mean, if you go to London, you'll be surprised. It's one of the most multicultural cities in the world. It really is. And the whole country is.
Here we have a lot of race issues in our country. You see a big difference?
There is a difference. I mean, I don't think it's so much on the surface because we don't have the same history as the US, with the slavery and everything. I mean, unfortunately, the UK was involved in the slavery trade, but we didn't actually have slavery in the country, so it's not really on the surface so much. We actually invited a lot of immigrants from countries there's a big thing going on in the UK. I don't know if you heard about it, called the Windrush scandal. Did you know what that is? I can explain what it is really, really quickly. In the 1950s, we invited a lot of workers from countries like Jamaica, the rest of the Caribbean, to come into the country to work for us, to work for British people. And what happened? A lot of the people, their documents were lost by the government.
It's a missing documents.
Yes, and people have even been deported because of this, and it's a scandal.
Wow.
It's terrible, and they're trying to fix it right now. But it's outrageous because these people they're British. They came to. It's a bit like the DACA here.
I was just thinking.
Very similar to DACA. A lot of these people had children in the UK. They're British.
It's just a mess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mess. So that's one thing which is not so good right now, which is going on in the UK.
So that's currently an issue. That's being dealt
but in
with.
general, I would say, maybe I'm sticking my neck out here a little bit, but I wouldn't say racism isn't so on the surface maybe in the UK as it is perhaps here, because the history is a little bit different.
Yeah, it definitely is definitely a difference with the history, and if we could only break through that.
Definitely.
And realize that.
Yeah. I mean, for example, I can say I grew up in a big city, in an inner city. I mean, my elementary school or infant school, we call it in the UK.
Is that what they say?
Infant school. Infant school. Yeah,
Okay.
that was very multiracial. So I didn't even think. I mean, I grew up with Pakistani British, Black British. I mean, I didn't even think about it. Multicultural. I didn't think about it. So that's mostly in the cities. If you go more into the country areas, perhaps it's less. It's more white, maybe less racially mixed, but it's changing. It's
much more
multicultural.
than,
Yeah. So.
Well, that's good. I think that's the key too, because when we're children, we don't know.
No.
We're taught how
exactly.
to speak. We're taught how to eat. We're taught how to like people. We're taught how to treat people.
Exactly. Yeah.
Manners and all that. So I just feel that it's just a shame that it's proven in other countries how it can work fine.
Yeah.
And here it's just not implemented that way.
Yeah. But lots to do with the history here, I think. It's the whole history.
It does, but you gotta, history gets to be old. And
Exactly.
you gotta move forward
You do.
start making that change.
I
because
agree. Yeah.
History is so far past. I mean, look at the things that
Exactly.
these kings surrounding us did. How many heads were?
We were still cutting off heads. We've got Henry VIII behind us, right?
Henry VIII is over here. I mean, a lot of people were beheaded back then. I don't think they're doing that anymore. So
we're not.
There's a lot of old history that people have buried. There's a lot of terrible history in every country.
Yeah.
But it seems that here, it's something that is continuing to just resurface. So I don't know. It's always refreshing hearing about another country.
Yeah.
And so you're gonna have to let me know when you're going back to England.
I will.
Because I may just have to plan my trip.
Well, I might be going back at the end of June, so I'll let you know.
I'll have to look that up. Look that up. Because of course after this wedding we're going to be crying for a royal baby again from them. Of course.
Yes.
So in this wedding. There's some drama going on with Meghan Markle's family. I mean, I don't know if there's drama because she's mixed, mixed race, or because she's not royal blood.
I think it's also because she's an actress, perhaps.
And
so
an actress,
because of that, there's drama and it's interesting, and this kind of.
The fact she's an actress is what's bringing extra special attention, of course, here in our country. She's a celebrity.
Yes.
One. Two, she's just American. And then she's not royal family blood, and she's got a black mother, and a white father, and it's just all this at once. And then she's got estranged family members, and some that, I mean, it's just very, all the way around untraditional, right?
Yeah, it is.
So, I guess, do you give kudos to the Queen and so forth for still embracing that love of
absolutely,
Harry and looking past all that?
I absolutely do, but also, I mean, if you look at the Queen's, the Queen herself, she's kind of above, if you like, scandal. We really believe that. Yeah. But if you look at her own family, there's been a lot of interesting family stuff going on as well quite recently.
Have you watched that television show, The Royals?
I have. I love that. I actually really like it.
How true. Does anyone out there watch The Royals? My daughter loves it, so I became like a 2-season watcher of that.
But I also think the Queen is extremely open. I mean, she's the head of what we call the Commonwealth, which is so many different countries around the world.
Yes.
I mean, obviously the Commonwealth was the empire, the countries which are in the British Empire. But we've moved on from that, and I think the Queen is head of this huge organization. She's very well respected. There's countries from the Commonwealth in Africa and in the Caribbean, everywhere, so I think the Queen herself is extremely open. Yeah. But it was interesting the Queen had to give her official permission for this marriage. Yeah.
But doesn't she do that for all?
She does for everybody. Yeah. And I think a lot of it wasn't anything to do with the fact that Meghan Markle is, African American, nothing it was also a religion thing, because the Queen is head of what we call the Church of England. And I watched a show the other day, and that rumours that Meghan was actually brought up a Catholic.
Okay.
So that's actually more of a no-no in many ways than a racial thing.
Yeah.
So, but apparently
that's another hurdle to get over.
Yeah, but she converted. She's converted to the Anglican Church, so it's all cool and it's
she's
all.
She's like, okay, baby, what do I need to do?
So that,
No, I guess she seems very accommodating and willing to.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Her and Harry, I think their love is just so remarkable.
Exactly, and I think the Queen loves her grandchildren so much. She just wants them to be happy.
Yeah,
and we were talking,
a mixed royal baby,
definitely.
Grandbaby in a minute.
And we were talking about it before the show, actually, about the whole thing about marrying a commoner.
Yes.
So Kate is what we call a commoner. Isn't that awful? That's
I know, when you hear commoner, you think, Cinderella sweeping the floors.
So what it basically means, you're not a member of, like me, you're not, as far as I understand, I'm not a member of the nobility. So the nobility are all the old royal families and lords and ladies.
Is it more about bloodline?
Bloodlines, more like bloodlines related to the nobility, the royal family, this kind of stuff. So if you're not, part of this, you're a commoner, So Kate was a commoner, and that was a big thing when she.
And I remember there was an issue about she's not, but they didn't really. I don't think they were for it initially, were they?
They weren't really for it, no. But she got over that, so I think that's paved the way as well. Yeah. But as far as I know about the Queen, what I've heard about the Queen, she's extremely open. She's just worried about the happiness of her.
I was going to say,
kids, grandkids.
She's up there. She's 90 now.
Exactly.
90, 91, and I think at this point she's just like, hey,
exactly.
I only have a few more years here on Earth, or so. You guys just
And the other thing, the history. I don't know if you know, there was a lot of people didn't want her back in the day for her to marry her husband either. There was a lot of because
why not?
He was from a different royal family in Europe, which wasn't very popular. He's from the Greek royal family and this kind of stuff.
Boy, it really goes.
Yeah, so it goes back. So she faced that as well. She had to face it.
She understands.
Yeah, and then her sister Margaret, who passed away, she wanted to marry a divorcee, which was also a no-no back in the day. So actually, the Queen she wasn't allowed to marry this divorcee, her sister. So that was very sad as well.
Oh, yeah.
So the Queen has seen a lot of these kind of situations.
And then Princess Princess Diana. What
Princess
she went
Diana.
through. I mean,
Yeah.
watching that tragedy unfold.
That's terrible.
And
Yeah.
I'm sure that really impacted
Absolutely.
the whole gamut.
Yeah,
of
no,
things.
absolutely, I totally
It changed
agree.
the game,
Yeah.
I think, at that
Yeah.
point, because they realized it's not that serious. We really need to lighten up. They
Exactly.
knew that Charles
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
wanting somebody else. Why did
Exactly.
they go through all
No,
that
exactly.
and punish him too?
No, exactly.
So he was hurting, she was hurting.
Yeah.
It was just, now he's
Exactly.
with who he wanted to be with,
Yeah.
Camilla, but it just,
Yeah, exactly.
I remember watching that, feeling for poor Camilla. I just,
Yeah.
I did. I felt so
Yeah.
sad for her because I'm like, I know he loves you. He really does.
But they got to marry in the end. So
They did. It all
you know.
worked out. It's just
Yeah.
so interesting. I love that.
Yeah.
How much of what we hear in books about, kings and queens
Yeah.
and royal families
Yeah.
is actually the way it
Yeah,
it
and what I've heard about the Queen, I mean, I don't really know. I actually have a
Yeah.
cousin whose partner sometimes works with the Queen,
Okay.
and he says she's very down to earth, she's very easygoing, she's
Yeah.
not like what she's portrayed in many ways.
Right,
I mean,
right.
she can be obviously very formal, that's who
she's
she is.
got it, yeah.
Yeah, but she's a person, she's at the end
Yeah.
of the day, she's kind
That's
of,
what I
yeah.
feel. These
Yeah.
were the royal families.
Yeah.
I mean, my family was called that in Detroit. And we're humans,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everybody's. But the position is respected.
Yeah.
And what are some of the traditions that you have to do in front of a royal?
Well, if you're a lady, you're
When
supposed to
you're greeting.
curtsy, a little bow, and men are supposed to bow. And the other thing you're supposed to call the Queen, you're supposed to call her ma'am, which rhymes with ham. They always say ma'am to rhyme with ham, not ma'am.
Yes.
It's ma'am to rhyme with ham. So that's what you're supposed to call her. You address her as ma'am when you first meet her. But after that, I think you address her as Your Majesty after that.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you can say that after you
Yeah,
got that
yeah,
out the way.
yeah.
What are some of the no-nos? Because I've seen where celebrities have gone over there for events. and they've
Yeah,
done
you're
some
not supposed to
no-nos.
hug her. No, you're not supposed to hug her. It's not. I mean, I don't know if she'd be against, but you're not supposed. That's a no-no
Yeah.
apparently. Yeah. So I mean, I think
I think
she's
someone
a.
did that recently, and it was in the news that they hug. Oh
Yeah,
my God!
yeah.
like,
You don't
for a
kiss
hug.
her, hug her, or.
Yeah,
No.
and we're a huggy kissy people, so I have to be told that 5 times.
Yeah.
Do not.
I always wonder if Meghan tried to.
I know, because that's a natural thing.
It is, yeah.
It's a custom here.
Yeah.
It's a sign of respect and
Yeah.
embracing that acceptance.
Yeah.
There, it's more like.
Well, no, she's royal, so it's kind of like
Yeah,
we are.
like, you can't touch me yet.
Not yet.
You can't touch me yet.
But she's apparently supposed to have a very nice, good, fun sense of humor as well. So she's
I
supposed
have
to be very.
heard about that. Yeah, she's got a little sense of humor.
She does,
going. I
yeah.
wish we could see more of that.
Yeah,
I wish
yeah.
they would share that with the
Yeah,
world.
yeah. So that's a no. I'm trying to think of any more no-nos. Not really. I mean, no. That's the real thing that you're not supposed to do. So.
Have you ever been know anyone going to the palace for an event?
Yeah, I've heard
party?
some. I've known some friends of friends who've been for she has these garden parties every year, and what she does, she invites people usually to work with charities and that kind of stuff. So I've known people who've been to her garden party, and they're supposed to be very nice. And one very important thing about the Queen, there's probably about 200, 300, maybe 400 people at these parties. She says hello to everybody. She makes a big point to acknowledge and say hello to everybody.
Wow.
Yeah.
At one time, like
One
they,
time.
they line up.
No,
and
actually
that
they would go in, but
people
she would go round. She would go round during the
Oh,
party
nice.
and say hi to everybody.
Oh, very
and
nice.
yeah, so I've heard of that. And like I said, a cousin of mine, his partner works with the Queen sometimes for functions, and he says she's very nice.
I
she's
would
very
love
fun.
to go to a royal shindig.
Yeah.
Royal pata
Yeah.
and wear my little pata
Yeah.
dress, my little
That's-
poof dress, and be in
That'd
the
be
ballroom.
fun.
I know
Yeah.
when you see it in TV.
That's right.
You
Yeah.
you watch all these different movies,
right.
and I love going to events. I love charity. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
balls. I
too.
love the elegance of it. I
Yeah.
love the social aspect.
too.
I love, of course, the give back.
That's right.
That's associated with it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to go to a
Oh,
royal
it'd be amazing. Yeah.
charity event
That'd be
to me
amazing.
would be on my
Definitely.
bucket list.
And one thing we were talking about were what you dress, how you dress going to a royal
Yes.
wedding. So, well, it's actually any wedding, actually a big wedding in the UK, in Britain. It's very important with the ladies. They usually wear hats, big hats. They either wear really, really, really big hats, or they wear these little things called fascinators,
Yes.
which are little kind of hat things which sit on the side of your head. And it's like, so watch out for that on Saturday. You'll see all these
All
big
kind of
hats and these interesting hats and everything.
You know,
yeah.
I tried to pick up a fascinator for the show, everybody. I was supposed to be wearing my fascinator. But the traffic was just so horrendous.
Oh,
I don't know what people were doing. Every street I could go, I had it on hold at a store. They were holding it for me.
Yeah.
And I just, I couldn't
Yeah.
make it there. So you didn't get to see it, but I'll describe it for you.
Yeah. So that's
It was
yeah.
it's pink and had a veil, little veil that goes across, and it was round, and you set it kind of right here. It was a pink with a veil, and then it had a little stick that goes up. Very interesting.
Nice, that's very
I just
good.
couldn't wait to show you. So what I might have to go pick it up and I'll snap a picture and put it on there still.
That's funny.
But I just love that. I love
Yeah,
the
it's
hats.
amazing. So that I even remember from my family, because I come from a very big family, and when we had weddings, it was always like a competition between my aunts and cousins, the ladies, who could have the biggest hat or the most outrageous hat or something like that. So it's very...
Was it Fergie or who was it?
It was Princess Beatrice.
Princess Beatrice, and that little
Yeah.
thing was gone up
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a tree.
It was crazy. It even had its own Facebook page. Did you know that? Did you? And I was on it. I don't.
It was like the beanstalk.
It was.
That's what it looked
Well,
like.
there's a rumor, I don't know if it's true, and I don't really like to believe it. There was a rumor, though, that they didn't like Camilla at the time, and she sat in front of Camilla, so Camilla couldn't see the wedding. But that's the rumor.
Gosh,
I don't know.
if
So let's
that's
watch her.
true,
Well,
that
let's
would be
watch.
so-
Let's watch her. Let's watch her this time. See what she's wearing, and like.
That's hilarious. But I remember that hat. But some
Yeah.
of them, they sit on the side.
They
and
do.
some go right in the front.
They do. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Some are very subtle, very kind of.
Yeah. That one
Yeah.
that sits here is just like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
interesting.
And the other thing everyone's waiting to see, of course, is the wedding dress. What it's
Oh my
because it's a
gosh,
secret.
I
It's
can't. Even what Prince Harry is going to wear is a secret.
yeah, yeah.
They're rumored whether he's going to be in his uniform,
Yeah.
or his
Yeah.
suit, or what.
Yeah.
I can guarantee
Yeah.
he's not going to be in just a suit.
Yeah.
I think the official uniform with the snaps,
I
with
think
the
so.
colors, and
Yeah.
oh,
And the dress, the most important thing about the dress is it has to have a very long train, usually, like a 20-foot train. Remember Diana?
I remember that. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
watched that wedding. I got up early in the morning. Looks like the music's being turned up. It must be getting late. It's party time up in this pub. So excuse that if it's getting loud for you all. But yeah, I do remember that. And I stayed up all night to watch Princess Diana's wedding. I so loved every moment of it. I sat in my bed and watched it because, of course, it's in the wee hours.
Yeah.
And then for Prince Williams, I watched all that with
Yeah.
Kate. I mean, it's just
Beautiful, wasn't
So
it?
I will be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It will be 1:15 a.m. on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Live.
And the actual ceremony, I believe, is at 4 a.m.
For our time. It's
yeah.
noon 12 o'clock noon in Britain.
That's right.
But here, yes.
Yeah.
4, which is 8 hours difference
Right.
for people in
right.
California, which is where we're from. In the
Yeah,
West
but
Coast.
start watching before about 2 or
But
3 hours before, because
there's
you'll
some
see all
free
the
stuff,
well, you'll see all
yeah.
the people coming in with their
With the
fascinators.
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 Now you know the word. If you didn't know, the house is called a fascinator. It's fascinating. That's what it to see these. That's a show in itself. But they do. I posted it for everybody on my Facebook page already in my promo for the show. I put down a picture of the venue, the church. I put down the times of the wedding. I also put down different networks that will be airing it, like ABC, CBS, CNN. I mean, everybody is covering it because we have an American in the wedding, so it's us. And that's why I posted the flag, the British flag and the American flag coming together in love. It's really.
Do you know what I was going to say? I think it's also a good time to have this wedding because there's a lot of stuff we're not really agreeing on at the moment politically, right? So
That's
you know.
true. Maybe this will help.
Yeah.
Bridge. Maybe they will be very helpful.
Yes.
In
They
bringing
will
that
be.
together. You
Yeah.
know, but I don't know. With our president, I don't know if anybody can help anything. You know, even if it's someone that isn't the greatest in office, I'm sure they can work things out. But this one is just abnormal. I'm sorry. It's just out of left field. Sorry, I'm pulling things away.
Yeah, me too.
So how are we doing on the time?
We are, so it's just gone 6:07. So
This is also fascinating to me. This wedding and the parties and the British culture. I'm trying to think of more that people can learn about going there. I know British Airways is the way to travel.
it is. Well, actually, both British Airways also. I'm advertising for you. Virgin is a great.
Virgin
is
I love
it's
Virgin
really good
Air.
as well.
Oh my gosh, I love Virgin Air.
Virgin is really good too.
They do so many great. They have the best snacks.
Yeah.
The
Really
staff
good.
is so amazing.
They are.
I have not been on British Air yet, but
No, it's great. It's really good.
I've heard it's great.
It's very, very good. And another thing you could do, I'm planning to do this, I've never done this, but there's some airlines which stop now in Iceland. I've always wanted to go to Iceland, and it's a nice way to break up the journey, spend maybe a day there and then
like
go.
a layover in
a layover in
Iceland,
Iceland, 2 or
and
3 days, yeah, because it breaks up the journey a little bit from
That's
LA.
kind of fun.
Yeah, so I'm thinking of doing it this time. Yeah, but British Airways, Virgin, definitely, they're the big British
are ways to
carriers.
travel.
Really good.
What about places to stay? I know Airbnb is very popular.
Airbnb is great in London. London is a little bit like New York. It's kind of hit and miss. You can end up paying a lot of money for something not so good, or
Okay.
not so much money for something really good. So it's a little bit hit and miss. There's lots of. I have a favorite hotel I stay in London. I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah, we can't tell everybody because that's his place. Everybody gets flooding there.
But
But is it pretty safe for the most part?
Yeah.
Would you say if you're
Yes.
from America coming
Definitely.
there, do you feel comfortable?
Oh, absolutely.
The way you're treated, no one is.
Oh, absolutely, no problem at all.
Yeah.
The only thing which Americans might find a bit kind of shocking and is where we don't really tip in the UK.
No tip.
We don't really tip very much. We might give a few, like, so if we really like the service, we might give a little bit more, but
It's
normally
not required.
it's
They
not
don't-
required.
They don't have it on the menu.
No,
you know,
not required.
18, 20%.
No, and you would normally leave it with the bill in cash, like after you've paid for something, you would leave like maybe £1 or something like.
So if you're paying for your
$1.50.
food, you then put the
the money
tip,
up.
if you
Yeah,
choose to.
if you choose to, it's
And
not
so
a big
that
thing.
means, that means the wait staff must be shocked and very appreciative at that point.
They
It's not
are,
normal.
and the whole thing is in the UK is wait staff are normally paid okay. They're not paid the minimum wage always. They're paid okay, so that's where it comes from. It's not a big thing over there, so that might shock Americans a little bit.
Yeah.
And often when I first moved here, my American friends would say, "Well, you need to tip," because I would be like, and it wasn't because I didn't want to tip people. It's because I didn't really understand the whole culture. It's different.
I know people might looked at you like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
You're not
So
tipping.
there's that. That's a big difference over there, you know. So.
I like that. Well, I know there's a
Yeah.
place here. I must give a shout out to Gabriel, who owns Sweet Beverly in Beverly Hills, and House of Cravings.
Oh, yeah.
And he covers tips for his staff. He does not want anybody tipping in his establishment. And I don't think he's from. Maybe he spent time there and learned that or
Yeah.
something. But I think that's really a better way to do
It is.
I really do.
But
because
But I understand. No, I was going to say I understand here though, because an American friend explained to me that a lot of wait staff here don't earn very much. They earn below the minimum wage, so that's what it
and
is.
they probably pay more. You're thinking,
Yeah.
and that's what he does. He pays more.
Yeah.
Keeps his staff. They don't want to leave.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want you to tip. And I think that's better. Pay them more, cover it, and you don't have problems with customers and the wait staff.
That's right.
It prevents a lot of those little difficult
That's
situations.
right. And another thing which happens over there, you might be surprised, in a bar, if you're in a pub or something, what we'll do instead of a tip, we'll sometimes buy the person who's serving, we say a barman or bar lady, actually a drink. We'll buy them a drink instead of an actual tip. So, yeah.
So your waiter serving dinner, you would
No,
do that,
not
or
the dinner,
you're
in a
at the
pub,
bar?
like the bartender
So
here.
the
You
pub
would
must get really tipsy.
You'd say have one for yourself. That's what we would say. Yes.
Oh well, they probably don't do
Yeah,
it.
and the other thing you do in a pub usually when you go with friends, you buy rounds. So if I'm with you and some other friends, it would be my round. So I would buy drinks for everybody, and then the next time it would be your round.
That's common
how
tradition.
that's how we do it normally. Yes.
So if you're visiting and someone all of a sudden does rounds, you better get ready. Be ready. Because if you don't, I'm sure everybody's like.
Yeah, but a lot of British people might be very nice because you're a
If you're not
tourist.
from there,
they
might
might buy all the rounds sometimes. Yeah, so you'll be if you're lucky,
Yeah. What if you don't drink?
Oh, they'll just buy you a
You
Coke
just, but do you have to buy rounds if you're not drinking? It's still a courtesy.
Probably it's more courtesy,
Yeah.
You can see,
See, I'm not drinking, but I got you.
yeah, definitely.
I like that. That's very nice.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people here do kind of have incorporated some of that. I've noticed.
Yeah.
But not for the masses. It's not
Changing a lot, so it depends really. It's who asks the person out on the date. So it might be the lady might pay.
So
if
it's
a
kind
straight
of like
relation.
here. So
Yeah, it's kind of like it's
everything's
moving on.
changed.
It's moving. You might get a few guys, a few who are very traditional. They might want to always, pay
So
for
who are some of the celebrities from England that are here that you know about?
Oh my gosh, who actually live here? There's
some.
so many. There's so
we have
many.
many.
We have many who actually live here. I'm trying to think. There are a lot of Brits actually live here back and forth, don't they? People like Benedict Cumberbatch. Gosh, I'm trying to think who actually. There's so many in LA who actually live.
In LA.
Yeah.
Who are the famous people in England right now? That, who are the rock stars there? Or the
Do you mean
famous
Americans?
actors?
The Americans? Or
No, they
just,
can be English that
Yeah.
we know of from here that are still there. Do you know?
like
any?
Judi Dench, of course, people like that is over there. Yeah, I was to say Benedict Cumberbatch. There's so many. We have so many. Yeah.
So that come back and forth.
Back and forth.
Because I know there are a lot of Australians in the entertainment industry.
There are, and often when I'm over here, because when people hear my English accent, they think I'm an actor automatically, and I'm not.
Yeah, because there's so many.
There's so many come back and forth, and I know you like our accents a lot, don't they, Americans?
Absolutely, my
in
daughter
movies,
totally does.
Yeah. So there's that. But then we also have a few British actors who can do very good American accents. Do you know the guy who does House? House?
What's his House,
name?
yes.
Yeah, what's his name?
Oh my God.
What's his name?
He's an amazing
Yeah,
actor.
his accent is amazing. I think American. You would hardly know.
I can't think of his name, but I know exactly. Tall, slender gentleman.
Yeah.
Great.
But I think it's quite difficult for Americans to do British accents. I think the most amazing American to do a British accent I've ever heard is Gwyneth Paltrow. I think she's amazing. Her British accent, you can hardly ever, you can't really tell the difference, you know. So
That's
she's
good.
very good. Yeah.
So she's a good one to act in the role.
Yeah.
My daughter is a pretty good one. She's worked it for years. She's really tried to perfect that.
I'm not going to do an American. Every time I do an American, it sounds like a Valley Girl, so I'm not going to do it. It's terrible. Because I always do, oh my god. I was like, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Right?
Yeah.
Let me let it go.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So when people are visiting from America and they hear obviously our American accent, do you think they're more welcoming, or do they kind of just respect your space and go on?
That's very British.
More
That's more of a British thing. People like to give people space more, so probably they wouldn't. But again, if you're in a pub,
there's some Americans over there.
Yeah, but again, if
you're
like, but again, if you're in a pub, you had a few drinks, and people become more friendly. Then they'll say, because that's the whole thing in England, in the UK, you can actually go into a pub by yourself, even as a woman. It doesn't matter. Sit at a bar, order a drink, and somebody will probably talk to you.
Not be judged.
No, and somebody will probably end up talking to you. But we're a little bit shy on the surface. We don't like to invade people's space right there. That's one thing I actually do like here, having moved to LA. When I first didn't know so many people, I could go somewhere by myself and somebody would talk to me right there. That wouldn't always happen in a usual space in the UK. In a pub it might, after a few drinks.
So a pub is almost that friend zone.
It is. And it's
you go in there, people know you're here, so you're okay socializing.
Exactly. And it's not, we are friendly, we do respect, the spacing is very important in England,
Well, I noticed coming in this particular pub that we're in, and for those that may have tuned in late, tell them I don't want to get it wrong. I see the old Ye, but it's the Ye Old Kings.
The Old King's Arms, I think, or Ye Old King's Head. The Old King's Head.
The Old King's Head.
All the heads. The heads, the Old King's Head.
That people were so friendly. And welcoming. Everybody without having to do it. Hi, how are you today? Anything I can do for you? They were just very engaging. I mean, I ran to 5 different staff members, so this place is huge.
Right.
And they all said the same thing.
That's right.
And I noticed it right away, and I was like, well, hi. Brought out, hi there. No, thank you, I'm good. But I love that. I love that. So I hope if people are looking for a place to come and visit during this royal wedding weekend, I would recommend Googling some of the mini pubs, but this one here in Santa Monica is really nice.
It's great, and the food here is really good. Being a Brit myself, I think I rate the food here really, a lot. You know, it's quite a good pub to come to. Also, if you're vegetarian, they do a vegetarian.
Right when I was going to.
Oh, you were back.
So sorry, this is all brick thick structures here. We're deep in the back of the pub, so it's a bit of a signal issue. But we're going to start signing off here. I think we've hopefully provided you with a lot of information. If you're looking for a place, I think this location here is really nice, but there's some others. It's fun.
Yes.
They got the decorations, and as John mentioned, next door there's a great little store.
There is.
Where you can come and buy some British.
It's got everything. British food. It's got British cookies, British chocolate, lots of different things.
A lot of British decorations for your party, tea, and all that stuff. So I would say do it. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming and sharing.
It was great. I loved it. It was wonderful.
So loved having you.
Thank you, everyone.
An authentic Brit.
I am. Yeah, I really am. Yes.
Yeah, he knows so much.
And I'm wearing purple, which is a royal color. I decided to do that.
That's right. The royal color.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing red because red's on the flag. I thought I'd blend in with the flag. So I do appreciate that, because it's just, I can only know so much. We can all know so much here. I think you've really given us great insight into England, and I love that. So if anyone has traveled there, I'm sure they're going to leave a comment. If you've been wanting to go, I hope that we've shared some wonderful things.
Please come over. I think you'd really enjoy. If you've never been to the UK, to England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, you'd really, really enjoy it. It's a very interesting place to go. People can understand you. We have the same language, more or less. And it's a fun place to go, because lots of things are very familiar, lots of things are a little bit different. Just like for me, over here, it's a great place to be, because people understand me, but it's also different enough to be interesting, right? So the same for Americans as well,
When's the last time you were back home?
I was back in September with my husband, so we had a really good.
To go again.
About to go again in the end of June. I do once or twice a year, because all my family are there.
Well, I'm seriously, but between now and next year, I do expect that I would have, made it, because I've been trying to kind of make a trip. But I've got a group that I'm gathering, and if you want to be in that group, I'll let everybody know about it. I'm open to do a whole little delegation. So there we go. You're watching the Karla Dawn live show with Karla Gordy Bristol, me, and Jon Bennett here. Barrett. I
from
forget it.
Bristol.
From Bristol, and I'm a Bristol. So here we go, Jon Barrett. So then thank you. Share the post of this show with anyone. Please follow my YouTube page. I'm about to start posting up some new short videos about different events going around in town, so you can keep up with that. And then my website is karlagordybristol.com, where I put all of my Beverly Hills View show links up there for you to see, and also Karla Dawn live shows and many other things. But it's all fun. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We are off to have fish and chips.
We are. Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yes.
The best fish and chips.
Yes,
I'm
it's
so
very
excited.
good.
So let's head
Just
on
do
in.
that,
We're gonna
yeah.
head into the main dining room in the bar. So many people out
Let's
there.
do that.
Yeah. So fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Make someone smile today, everybody. Remember, spread love and kindness.
Yes. Bye.